Okay, it has been a while. It has been a good long while. Have they got a dock town? They have got a dock town. Oh, that's amazing. Nice. I like it. Alright. We've got a bunch of active quests. Oh no, apparently we don't. No, we don't need the Theopedia. We want the logbook. Right, finished quest. So the Lightbringers, that one's just ongoing. It's basically, these two are ultra main questy sorts of things. Gosk's Might. We're not even going to start on this for a while. A long, long while. The arena, even longer than Gosk's Might. A lot of people think that Gosk's Might is like the end game bonus content because of how difficult it is. It's like, no. No, you may have done okay in the first couple of bits of the arena, but the later bits of the arena make Gosk's Might's entire questline look comparatively mild. Like, this becomes the korma of curries by comparison to the end stages of the arena. This will probably be the very last thing we ever tackle in this. The game is a little bit loud. Let me take care of that for you. Is that a bit better for you? Is this right after the last video you posted? No, I'm afraid not, Thing Jack. And I was really considering waiting until I'd upload it. I think we've got like 2 streams. Maybe it's just 1 stream though. You know what? Give me just a second. I can actually tell you. Right, let's have a look. Thea. 1 stream there, and Thea. 1 stream there. So 2 streams. 2 streams worth of backlog between the last video that went up on Aavak After Hours and this. And I was really considering waiting until I'd cleared the backlog, but I think that's really fun. Like playing. I have no clue what this game is. Then you are in for a rare treat, Brithnoth. A rare treat. The Vavel Dragon. This is basically a continuation of a quest from the first game. Bloody Vavel Dragon. A Sea Haven taking on a Kraken. We might be able to actually do it, but I kind of want to avoid it right now. But in the last stream, we actually made our way across to here. Across to the far, far places, and we explored a bit. We haven't checked out this island, but we have basically explored the entire landmass, more or less. We've got a little bit over there as well to have a look at. But yeah, we've gone to the Ashlands, the Goblin area. Super cool stuff over there. We've met some friends, and we've made some stuff. Sadly, one of the stuffs that we made was crap. And we made it with the best stuff that we had to make stuff with. Which, to say I was upset, rather big understatement. Rather big. Basically, we made a spear. Where was it? Over here. We made it out of this and stonewood. And I'd hoped desperately to get a good version of this, but it was not a good version. It was a crap version. It was a trash version. I was really hoping for a good chance of getting that high, but oh well. What I wouldn't mind is doing this though, and going for that. If we can get some pristine matter, I don't even mind that it would just be based on the stats of the person, because at an elemental level, this combination. Well, actually, if we could find something that had more bone. Can I sort by bone? Sort bone. No, it doesn't. No, go away. Cancel that. So pristine matter down here. Oh. Pristine matter at the bottom, right there. If I could find something that had enormous amounts of wood that was also metal, that would also work. But that one's got too much metal. Unless I found something up here that also had bone and stone. But we can't find bone and stone. If we have a look on the wheel of research. Bone will only ever be a combination of leather or gems. Or we can just go straight down and grab rune bone. And stone will only ever be a combination of wood and metal. So, for our spear, and I'll show you, I'll just cover why I was trying to make it out of those particular materials. Let me go back over. So if we have bone essence and stone essence as the primaries, then it gives both life leech and shield leech, and that is a crazy combination. That is a bonkers good combination. Because you'll absorb hit points and you'll also restore your shield every time you attack. If you put that on someone who's doing a lot of damage, that can make them functionally immortal in a fight. Even against, like, boss tier enemies. On a legendary version, it doesn't draw 40% of health and 50% of shield. It draws 80% of health and 100% of shield. Which means that every time you hit an enemy, whatever damage you do for that hit, you gain 100% of that damage back as a shield. It is redonkulous. Actually offensively powerful. The only one that is better than that is if you, like with a spear, the first strike is fantastic because you place them down and they stab someone before the battle has even begun, and they've now increased their health and increased their shield, which is quite a neat move. There is one other weapon though. If you go for a... let's go ahead to the weapon section. I forget the attack pattern of axes, but I think it's clubs because of bash. Because clubs have a splash damage effect, if you can get a club to have life leech and shield leech true damage, by the way, means it's applied to both armor and shield simultaneously. Now, the significance of that is that it's like your shield leech is based on the amount of damage you do. Your life leech is based on the amount of damage you do. It's not based on the amount of damage you do to health. And shield leech is not based on the amount of damage you do to armor. So if you do damage to both armor and shield simultaneously, you do twice as much damage with that weapon, and thus your health and shield leech is twice as powerful. Now, if you then multiply that by multiple targets, a single, like, mallet, two-hander mallet that has splash damage, that has true life leech and true shield leech, will more or less mean the more people you're fighting, the more immortal you are. Are there any other Thea streams going to be posted soon? Yes, there will be. I will be posting both of the Thea streams to Aavak After Hours. We will be going through all of them. It's ludicrous levels of cheese, yes. It's absolutely obscene how much amazing power that is. And yes, Theory Infinity there is on to something. Now, for your actual warriors, you want to give them a mallet or an axe, because an axe just does staggering amounts of damage. It's not uncommon to see like 2.5 multiplier on damage with an axe. So if you're already a character that hits hard, multiplying your damage by 2.5 times and making that true damage, so you're doing it twice if the enemy had any armor, that stacks pretty quickly to being astronomical levels of shield and health you'll absorb. But the thing about spears is you can give it to someone, if they're only using their natural attacks, for example, Dark Aavak, who I'm not going to play him with an attack move, I'm just going to play him with his ground pound. Like, it's one of the best abilities in the game. He will attack every enemy on the field, but he won't do it with his weapon. But if I give him a spear, when I play him, he will stab whoever's in front of him has a bonus action, and thus trigger his shield and life leech. Spears are some of the best, and javelins are the best weapons to give life leech on, because you can have it on a support character who isn't going to be using their attack. like their weapon attack. They're going to be played to use a spell or something along those lines. But the spear will still trigger. So, spears are not actually the warrior weapon. So, yeah, there's lots of options, and this is one of the things I love about Thea crafting. We're currently heading towards stonewood, and then after that, pristine matter, maybe, or pure stone, maybe. Pure stone would be an interesting one. So, I know this is basically recapping what I did in the very end of the last, well, I guess if you're watching this in Vodland, the very end of the last episode, but give me just a second. Right, so if I wanted to make a spear, because I can't see what I could do if because I haven't unlocked mallets yet. If I used pristine matter, you'd want to use pristine matter over true stone. While true stone will give you more stone amount, which is good for balancing if you need to pull more stone into an equation, pristine matter will give stone and wood, but it'll give more stone than wood. But it basically, this adds 3.6 essence per unit, whereas this only adds 2.4. You could go with this, but and that is, God's Branch is kind of a better item, really. However, it has less stone. So you'd also need whatever else you were using to have stone and bone, which harder to get. Harder to get, that one. You could go with stone metal, though, if you really wanted to. But we want bone. We need bone, so it's either leather or bone. And stone can be... So this is the way you look. You'd either go with a bone here, bone here, bone here, or bone here. Because I can have leather with bone, gems with bone, or obviously just bone. Stone can go here, 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 or here. So realistically, for the maximal possible effect, if I put stone over here, then my only options remaining for bone are these two, which have fairly low numbers. If I put bone here, then I've still got a 10 that I can put stone into. So 12 bone, 10 stone is better than 14 stone and 9 bone. That's the way you've got to kind of think of the crafting grid in a way. So we want bone over there. But we might be able to find... let's sort by essence types. So we've got rune bones over there. We've got dragon bones. What we would want is a... we've got gems there. Enchanted bone is probably... well, not quite what we want because it's not got enough there. Bone essence 2.4. Gem essence 1.9. So if we had forgotten essence, plonk that there. We've now got 28 bone essence, which is quite decent. And then for stone, we would want... let's see... we want stone in a fairly high amount. This has wood, that has too much wood. We don't want bone wood. It would probably be pristine matter. There. Oh, actually, no, that won't go there. Pristine matter over there for the 8s. But let's have a look. Have we got stone and... stone and metal there is not quite right. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. I mean, pure stone... yeah, that wouldn't work. We'd have to go with... this. Oh, actually, no, here we are. Moonstone. Stone and metal. So, as far as the best kind of spear that we could make, without drastic other modifiers, it would be the Forgotten Spear. A long, straight stick with a sharp tip capable of first strike attacks, held in one hand. If we then went and had a look at the legendary weapon, it's 1.5 times damage with true... with life leech and shield leech on an attack, but it's 1.2 times damage on a first strike. What's wrong, Lahoido? 23 is less than 22. This math doesn't make sense. Where are you seeing 22? Well, what are you looking at, Lohoido? I'd be happy to go through it for you. Oh, right. You're talking about the units. Okay, so basically you've got different items. So for the wood item over here, whilst I could have, because I need bone effectively. So 14 plus 9 is 23. But I'd only, if we have a look at the gems, let's go and find a bone gem. So we've not got a good bone gem there. I need a specific gem that has... Okay, this one will do. So bone amounts right here, tonk. And then we would want wood with stone. Stone essence higher than wood. That would be this one. See, not all of the high tier composite wood stone materials have particularly high stone. Like this one's got 1.9, this one's got 1.3. If I pop that in here, we see that's lower. I probably skipped over certain points because I'm so used to the game that I know, oh, I'm not going to find a high value stone item in wood to compensate for this, whereas I am going to find a decent one in metal, that sort of thing. Sorry for not making it super clear, but basically, certain composite materials favor one or the other. They're not all equal. It's not a perfect symmetry chart. And that's actually one of the things I like about it. So this is the best composite item I can make here. Whereas, as you saw, if I use the Forgotten Essence, which has just higher essence value. So this wood over here, I've got 1.1 and 1.3, so a total of fairly low essence numbers there. Whereas if I have 12 of this versus 9, like this is just adding so much more essence to the whole setup. And then we wanted, where are you, my pretty? Where were you? There we are. And then another very high essence amount for stone. Just popping that in there. As we can see, while it doesn't quite cross the threshold, and the thresholds are the things that really kick in, it does mean that we can make a... Like, I couldn't even make it if it didn't cross the first threshold. Crossing the second threshold does help. Crossing the third threshold does help. But once you're past the first one, every little bit does increase it a little bit. But you have to cross that section. Yes, it's the wild verse what do they call it? Improved. So you've got, for every type, and this is probably an easier one to showcase for just the basic ones. So these are all basic resources. Oh, hey, She-Lab. Tally's having her meds. So these are the basic essences. Let's find ones that are somewhat on the same tier. It's probably malachite, topaz, and ruby. So malachite is the normal tier 2 gem. Topaz is the improved tier 2 gem, and improved means that items made from it, they need a little bit more work, but they are a bit lighter, faster, and slightly higher value. It is a little bit more risky to work with them because you've got a slightly higher chance of making trash item. And then you've got wild resources, so these two have got the same essence type, but this one will just have slightly better properties. This one has got more essence, 0.2 more essence, and at this tier that's actually quite a lot. But made from this, they're much better value. However, they are much harder to work with. If you work with wild, then you're going to have a significantly higher chance of trashing. Like this right now is made of 2 wild essences, and it's got a 40% chance of being a trash item. That's a rough thing to see. You can counteract that by having a really good crafter making it, but it's still rough. If I want, and sometimes as well, like you might want to just drop down into a lower tier. Like that is amazing, but that gives a lot more straight up damage. Down here, nowhere near as good because this is so close behind. Like at the same levels, in terms of the pips on this bar, the higher quality item will be better. It's just the way that was going to roll. Hello, Tally. Tally was looking for her mate. Okay, floof noodles, yes. Okay, so, yeah, that was just what we were looking at making last time, and unfortunately, we flubbed it. And now I'm going to need to go and get more gear to be able to make better. On that note, though, we do have some improved resources over here that I will be able to gather from. We've got monster bone. Where are we? Elven wood. There we go. So we can just straight up gather dragon bone. We did. That's why we got so much of it. Did they have any really nice woods over here? I don't think they did. They've got coal though, and we did gather quite a lot of that. That's probably what we're going to be going back over there to gather, if I'm honest. And then we'll build up what we can from that. Enchanted leather. Maybe. No, we've already got mythical leather. We'll just move up to mythical. But yeah, if we could get up to Forgotten Essence, that would be perfect. You'll notice on the kind of the chart that this side is bone, and it's the as much as I said there wasn't a symmetry, there isn't a symmetry because of the fact that one side has to be improved and one side has to be wild. So if these were neither wild, if they were just regular, so neither improved nor wild, they would probably have equal essence amounts. This one would be slightly more gem, this one would be slightly more bone because it's closer to bone on the element wheel, and this one's closer to gem. But because this side is always improved, this one will always have lower returns than this one. So that's another way of looking at the element wheel to find the most bang for buck. So, for example, over here, I know that stone and wood will never be as good as stone and metal because this is the wild resource. Unlocking it allows you to find it and craft it. Some days I feel as wiggly as a ferret. Wow. That's very wiggly. But yeah, if you unlock it, then you gain the ability to both craft and to... Hello, Tally Mally. You're coming up on my desk. Hello. Hello, hello. Did you enjoy your meds? Can I have a kiss? Oh, such a good girl. Such a wiggly girl. Okay, Tally. Right, I'm just going to go and take Tally back, and I will be right back. It'll only be a second. Sheila was dealing with a bunch of escapees. The fuzzers were out and about, causing mischief. Oh. Right. Yeah, when you unlock a resource, you gain, I think, 10 units of that resource for having researched it. Ferrets causing mischief? Never. Never happened, not even once or twice or 3 times. Okay. Well, there is a part of me that does wonder if I might not want to start chonking down some of these weapon types. Especially now that we're looking at things that would allow us to make life leech items, like clubs. Right now I can only make leather, iron, stone, or gem. So that would be the only option for bone. That would be... Well, actually, these two would be an option for bone. These two would be an option for stone. But if I went up to the next tier, this one would add a decent chunky bit of metal to it. At that point, this would still be the best option for bone. And that for stone. Realistically, I don't think even at this point I would really mix that up. Though I might want more stone than bone, perhaps. And if I did... Because, you see, as you get higher up, you get a bonus to the essence type, so it makes it possible to make powerful weapons easier. But you also get to make it out of more things. But honestly, I don't think we'd ever really go for anything different if we were going for the true damage, life leech, and shield leech. Okay. Hey, Lonely Elf. How you doing? I'm doing well, mate. Thank you very much for dropping by. Okay. Right. Recap complete. It's at this point that I'll probably bring people in the VODs to save them having to get a massive recap of me going over what we did right at the end of the last episode. Now, Sea Haven. What was that quest? Came across a shipwreck with a female floating at the top. Spotted the Kraken's hideout in a cave nearby. Okay, so we're going to have to go and take on a Kraken for that one. I'm not super hot about that idea. 8-9. What we were last up to, we just returned from the Goblin Lands, the Ashlands, and had just crafted a bunch of stuff with the materials we brought back. At this point, we're kind of free to do what we want. I think everyone is more or less not doing anything except for our top researchers who are. In terms of their overall researching ability, we've also got rituals as well. Do we have any really good rituals right now? Curse removal, physical blessing, mental blessing. We don't have any super cool rituals. Let me have a look, though. We might be able to unlock one. Higher education. Upon completion, grants 3 experience points equally divided amongst members of the group. See, this one becomes stupid useful when you've got children in the village. If you can just knock this out every single turn, those children will get redonkulous amounts of experience by the time that they become adults. And that actually might be worth me trying to make a beeline for. I'll wait until I've got 2 points, though, and I'll decide what I want to spend them on. Yeah, super children. It's kind of like surviving Mars. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, people you start with are good and stuff, but, you know, the children are where it's at. You invest in that future, and you invest hard in that future. You go all in on that future. Few generations down the line, they don't even notice when there's a meteor storm anymore. That's the only thing they've ever known. That's actually just kind of pretty. It's like, it's kind of past the time a little bit. Oh, wow. Bob almost got hit by one. Ha, good old Bob. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. He's got a really thick skull. He'd have just head-butted it into smithereens. I'm still very confused about what this game is about. Okay. The TLDR, we are in the post-apocalypse of a post-apocalypse, and it's kind of heavily based on Slavic and kind of Eastern European mythology, and we've got a little town, a clan of people, and we're trying to restore the gods' powers because they have been weakened. Now, in terms of gathering, what have we got about we've got loads of fish, don't need to be doing that. We've got loads of darkwood, loads of quartz, not much malachite, loads of obsidian. And And we've got a decent amount of wood, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Top tier gatherer, go on the grains, please. Second tier gatherer, go on the fruits. Third tier gatherer, go on the seaweed. We've got enough fish, I would say, for now. Actually, go ahead. Let's just focus on making food for now. All of these I'm not as fussed about. Let's see about our resources. Do we have any coal left? We don't. Okay, so we've converted all of our coal. We do need to go out on a wander then. Oh well, that's fine. We've got a cosmic seed, so technically I can make a second village if I want to. I can happily make a second village. We don't really need cooking though. I know it's very tempting to say, oh my god, we need cooking, but our larders are full. We've got 506 veggie bakes. We've got 168 baked fish, 380 fish salads, 492 fish salads made with different ingredients. We've got 201 loaves of bread, 104 green soups, 817 sandwiches, seaweed sandwiches, 61 pots of jam to put on our beautiful seaweed sandwiches. We have 500 plus dragon steaks in this game too. Yes, we do. In 218 turns, though, you'll starve. Fair point. Very fair point, yeah. These are all the buildings. We've actually got a full complement of buildings, and at this point, we just upgrade them every now and then to different stuff, should we want it. This one, for example, is made of amber and quartz, and gives us one tier 1 resource and one tier 1 or 2 resource every turn. We've got a witch's hut, which gives us 1 to 2 herbs a turn. Also gives us extra ritual slots and better rituals in general. Got a guard tower, which generally makes us stronger. An armory, which again generally makes us stronger and gives us extra experience points every day. Again, I'm building this place so that we can, when we get new children, we can put them in this town, and this town will make them crazy powerful by the time that they become an adult and need to go through the rites of passage. Because that's important. That's where they get their class defined. We've got 1 to 2 vegetables being generated. This is actually a really good crop fieldstone, and there's a 2.8% chance for a seasonal pet. We've got an extra village site range here. We've got a nice idol of stone, which gives us a bit of a better gathering range, and just better gathering and crafting amongst various other things. A stone forge isn't the most amazing, but we can improve on that. A school, which gives us extra research points per turn, and just generally improves our researching. A warehouse, which gives us extra gathering. Children's playground, which increases the children's attributes whilst they're here, which again ties into them being able to get a better future. A fairly low tier mine. We could improve that. The herbalist hut, which increases the speed that people heal at and also decreases the chance that they'll die if they are at death's door. A trading post, which adds 1 tier 1 resource every turn, and also brings a trader in now and then, but we'll probably replace that with something else eventually. Dwelling, which maintains our morale, and that's about it. Yep. So I'm still vaguely addicted to Thea 1. How is Thea 2? I feel that Thea 2 improves in almost every way. Right. Okay, so that's the foodings. Cooking. I don't think we can cook any materials because we just lack the coal to do it, sadly. I'm going to have my gatherers just gather some just raw food for a little bit. I don't know if I allow the town to eat raw food. I do. So honestly, like, it's kind of stupid. Like, our latest child is rapidly racing up the morale levels because they gain morale based on the food types that they're eating. And they're already at plus 10% damage in all things. It's not going to be long before they're at 100% morale. So it really comes down to rituals and research as the next two important things, and I don't think anyone has got a curse, but it's possible they might. What is involved in this? Elvenwood and Dragonbone. Okay, so I can't do that. Herbs. This one needs very specifically these metals, so it needs silver or mithril, quartz, obsidian I've got. I could actually be running this constantly. Huh. Oh, can it go in there, really? I'm surprised by that. I thought that was going to require a very specific resource. I thought that was the point. Can I actually do that? No, but why would I do that? I'd want the obsidian over here to get that effect anyway. Grants a low-level physical blessing to all group members, which lasts 2 turns. So you could basically just keep running this. Over here, though, elven wood is not an easy resource for me to come by right now. Neither is scaled leather. So unless that ritual can be run with any type of wood, it can't be run with dryad wood, sadly. Basically, it can be made of anything that's made of the thing, from what I can tell. So yeah, we're not easily going to be able to do this one regularly. Much sadness, indeed. I do have a lot of dragon bones, so I could technically do it. And this would give us a nice, like, mental blessing, but it's not as super useful for us right now. But let me go ahead and just check in on our peeps. Do any of them currently suffer the effects of a curse? Would I even notice? You're creepy, apparently. Avacalypticon is creepy. Abacalypticon is nothing. Ascugia is attractive. Crafty old goat is a magic user. It makes sense for a goat. Dark Aavak is creepy, chosen, and a magic user. Final Sight is a magic user. Future Planet is attractive. Hungarian Lewis, our house demon, is nothing. Jake Toady, nothing. Leafy Poo, nothing. Malakin is a magic user. Nosferatu Light is a magic user. Raptor has no particular qualities. Shadowstar has none, and Xantos has none as well. Okay. But what I really want to see is whether you have any curses. Where would that even be listed? I would have assumed it would be listed over here, but I might be wrong. Super high morale. Not dead yet. I love that. That is so good. That is so good on a non-healer. Absolutely bonkers. Not seeing any curses listed. And if that is the case, I will be happy. Don't think Hungarian Lewis can be cursed. Just double checking, because if we had any curses, I'd clear them before we went out. Because we are going out. We're going to have to head on out. No curses, I don't think. Leafy Pew. You changed your name from Nosferatu Light to Leafy Pew. Long after Noin named that character, Leafy Pew. Not yet dead yet. Oh, not dead yet is from God. Right, yeah, you're right. You're right. Very true. Alright. Well, Dark Aavak has got a skill book that actually kind of does nothing for him. Running Vigor, I guess, is occasionally useful, but not really. I think it would almost be better to give him the spear. No, it was you. I saw it when I was looking back through the videos to remind myself what I was up to. I was very impressed, in fact, with your speed and cunning. It wouldn't really do anything useful on Dark Aavak, though, because Dark Aavak is not strong. So probably no point on that one. Dark Aavak has got this, 16 weapon block. That's kind of nice, actually. Grand Robes, 27 increase shielding. Actually, Dark Aavak's got not bad shielding across the board. Gonna be honest. Decent gathering there. Also, a bunny. Where is Dark Aavak getting the cat bonus from, then? Oh, was there someone else? Oh, it would have been Final Sight, sorry. Pet bunny. Increased max faith. Increased wits. Increased gathering. Makes sense. But realistically, the main thing that Dark Aavak has is this. Which is a stupidly powerful attack. It hits every enemy on the field every time it triggers, doing 73 damage in both spiritual and physical damage, and it also adds 2.3 seconds to their timer. Dark Aavak and his vile beast of Caer Banog, yes. No. You might not see it, but those are actually red eyes, and it's got huge pointy teeth. We're fine. Dark Aavak isn't going to go soft. Alright, well, research it is then, just to generate extra research points each turn. Tonk tonk. There we go. They will generate a decent amount every turn while they're here. There doesn't look like any kind of ritual I really need to play, but I could tonk this one in, I guess. And that will cover that one. And the thing is I could just have them doing that constantly. That's 7 a turn. I would need to get 720 per turn, which I do there, to generate 12 a turn. So I can just keep that one running forever. There is no reason not to have that one running constantly. Though ideally you would want to make it so it couldn't always run. Like, you'd want it to run every other turn, because it lasts for 2 turns. So, that will do. That will do. Now, Dragonbone I can't remake, but, you know, basically, we'll keep these two running constantly, and that covers our blessings. Would it produce a more powerful ritual if you use more material? I don't believe so, Malakin. Good thing I have a bandolier of holy hand grenades of Antioch. Yeah, but do you have the retinue that will remind you how to count to 3? Because if you don't, you might count to 4. Or even 5. So I'm not too worried. Unless you do have the requisite, you know, caravan of people behind you to chant the instructions whenever you try to use one of those holy hand grenades of Antioch. Hail spiders, George. But yeah, I think we'll just roll that for now. I have them on hand in triplicate. Well, that's just cheesing then. I don't even know why you're playing this game. You're making it too easy. It's like, I don't know, playing any Dark Souls game with armor and any weapon other than a club. Psst. Why do you even bother? Right, we're going to pass a turn. And just see if anything decides to come and say hello, but we will probably need to deal with the Vavel Dragon at some point. And I would very much like to get back over here. We can get some elven wood. And we can probably gather elven wood in extreme quantities. And also just find out what's going on at the tip of this island before coming down and exploring this island as well. You never know what's going to be there, but it's generally going to be one of the easier areas for us to deal with. We're also going into winter right now, so it might not be the best of times for us to do anything, but we'll see. With anyone I've got left over, we will just have you gather certain things, and some gathering wood, please, as well. There we go.